Hi, I'm Darlene Carman, and welcome to the show. Rachel Johnson aspires to connect people with the art of Ikebana on a deeper level. In her Japanese flower arranging classes and workshops, she encourages students to venture beyond the objective to place flowers into receptacles. The ultimate objective is for them to feel a sense of well-being as they interact with art through nature. Rachel will show us how she creates her art, but first we'll have a little chat. Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to be here.
I've heard so many
you.
nice things about you.
Thank you.
So, and your art. So I think the first thing we ought to do is maybe talk about the differences between Ikebana and the Western ideas of flower arranging.
Right, so in Western flower arranging, and we see it in the great big pictorial art of Europe, great big urns filled with gorgeous flowers, so many. And in Japanese flower arranging, we see sort of the opposite. We see branches making a beautiful space with very few flowers in there. So that they're designing the space to showcase the flowers. So less is more.
Less is more.
Yeah.
So, and then the receptacles, it's not the big base that we have.
There can be really large Japanese Ikebana arrangements, all different sizes, from very tiny, so in a tea house, very informal, very tiny, to in your house type of size, to huge installations they do in Japan in big stores and in public. So every different size possible. Yeah.
And there's many different styles of Ikebana, which I wasn't aware of. So what is the style that you practice?
It's called Sogetsu. And though Ikebana has a documented history about 500 years, a school is 500 years old, our school's nearly 100 years old. So it's very modern in Ikebana terms. And its viewpoint is to look at flower and plant material as sculptural work. So we really push a lot of boundaries from the original vocabulary of arranging flowers to arranging plant material as sculpture.
So you're dealing not only with the flowers and whatever you put them in, but the space around it. Whereas in the Western style, I don't think we think about those things. Does it fit into the vase? That's the thing that we think about.
And usually we feel it's successful when the vase is full.
Yes.
Right? Whereas in Ikebana,
one more to fit in.
Yeah, it's never really full. It's never quite full. And as you'll see with some of the pieces that I'm going to show you today, there's always some space somewhere for us to look at. Yeah.
And so the space is part of it. The space is just as important as maybe the selection of flowers, the total. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, and it's a complementary relationship between the type of material and the space that it can make. So depending on its shape and form, how can it make a space and what type of a space does it make?
Well, tell us about your professional background in Japanese arts and healings.
Yeah, I've had a long interest in Japanese art and history of art, which I studied at university. And then I went into Japanese shiatsu as my profession for 25 years.
Which is
a bodywork healing art. And, and you use your own body, like any massage, to cultivate well-being in other people by helping them to relax. And then when I came into studying Ikebana, which was just going to be a hobby, a lot of my interests just filtered right in, like concepts of balance, of yin and yang. And ultimately, what I'd brought from the healing arts was, it makes me feel good to arrange flowers. So that really was a profound new piece for me that I really enjoyed.
So the art that you did on massaging, was it a lot of hands-on, or was it more dealing like with the spiritual aspects of it? Was it a lot of hands-on? I've never had it before.
Okay, so Japanese shiatsu uses your palms, your thumbs, but you might use your knees, your elbows.
Oh, I've seen that in the movies.
Yeah, it's on a futon mat on the ground in
Yes.
traditional form, so that you use very good body mechanics, and so that you are at ease and letting weight rest. You're not forcing or pushing.
That's the one where I've seen in the movies where they're on their stomach and then the lady gets on top and walks on
Yeah.
the back. Is that the one?
Usually a little child does that naturally very well, but yeah, I don't actually walk on people's backs.
You got to pass on that one
Yeah.
too. Now, in what ways do you see that doing the art of Ikebana help with awareness and spirituality?
Well, for my own practice, it made me feel relaxed and so intensely engaged in what I was doing. And I hadn't had an art form before to practice at that level. And then when I started, well, I saw it in my classmates, and then when I started to teach as well, I had to find my way of teaching it as I had my way of teaching shiatsu, and I brought some of the same skills in there, so that people tend to judge themselves when they do a creative or artistic work and say, I'm not creative, and immediately shut down. And I wanted to get a feeling in the room that they're just flowers and plants. They're already perfect. You sort of get out of the way of thinking that we have to do something, but to allow it to happen, to enjoy it happening, even enjoy when it's not happening well, and just try again later. So it really, on many levels, it helps to nourish us, and I wanted to have my students feel that they're enjoying. People help each other so much, give each other flowers. Flowers really bring generosity to the fore, I think. What you always want to do on any occasion is give flowers away.
Yes.
Right? When you have them, you give them away.
So a lot of it, the people are not really that creative to start with. I'm kind of hearing that in what you're saying, that people are not really creative. They're just coming in to take the class. How do they get into your class? You know,
I teach in a community center, and for different groups and communities too. So they may be very artistic in another form, or they may be an engineer and have that mindset. Whatever they're bringing in actually is good stuff to work with creatively. It's just that I think a lot of people think that they're not creative enough because we don't have too much arts education right through our lives. So when people are adults and they give themselves permission to come back into art, you know, you really need to just encourage that growth and enjoyment above all.
So we would love to see some of your work, but I know you had some things. Did you want to ring your bells to let us know it's time to go?
I would love to do that. Here we go.
There we go. There we go. Time to move on.
A peaceful moment. So over here, I'm going to make a couple of arrangements today. And this one starts with this beautiful S-shaped container. And I found this wonderful iris. So it really has decided what I'm going to do. We're going to listen to what the flower wants us to do and where it wants to be placed. So I'm going to put it quite strongly here. And
you have a frog in there, right?
Yes.
It's called a frog?
It's called a kenzan in Japanese, which means needle mountain. I love that translation. It's what it does, yeah. So this is another iris with a little bud when it's finished flowering. And here's another one. You can see that there's a circular shape forming here.
Now, when you are doing this, did you already like pre-plan your idea what you want to do, or are you just going with the flow?
I sort of play until ideas come. And in this case, it started with this iris. What could I do with this shape to complement it and to
complement the shape? That's a nice shape.
Let me just
reminds me of a river, meandering river.
Now it's a large container. Oh, that was interesting. It tipped a little bit. I've been having fun with the balance on this arrangement all the time, and I thought that might happen at some point. And that what it's good to know about in Ikebana is where you push things to the edge in art until they fall over. And if they don't ever fall over, you're not really trying hard enough. So I'm going to recover and hope that stays there. I'm just going to get a couple more materials because it's a large container. So I want to also continue that movement on the other side. Here, I want this to swirl around.
Whoa. So that'll hold that one up. No, I'm just kidding.
And these are some dancing lady orchids. Don't they do exactly that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, Oncidium orchid.
I actually went to an orchid show and I bought some of that.
Do you?
And I painted it, yes. I didn't know what it was, but I thought it was so cute. My blossoms were a lot larger than that one.
Yeah.
These are tiny.
I don't get them to rebloom too well. Wow, I'm having an interesting time with balance here.
We need some gum.
Yeah.
Gum on the bottom.
Yeah. I got to move the little Kenzan around. So, okay, my students really enjoy when I'm struggling like that because, you know, because it's not
fun.
easy to do. So it's good when the teacher has a little bit of struggle with gravity as well.
You know, if you're like with me and with the bonsai that I do, I always say that it's the enjoyment's in the doing of it. You know, after it's completed, it's finished. You take a picture,
Right.
whatever. It's a moment in time, right? But it's the doing of it. And if you have to improvise or do something to help it along.
I've saved this one bloom specifically to cut it short. So I couldn't cut it short earlier to see what it would do. But it was my plan to put that in there. And I've only got one that's fully open. So that's going to go there. Oh, yes, it's going to stay there. If I have to hold it all night, it's going to stay there. Oh.
I wish I had a rock. That's what I do when I'm planting outside and I need something to balance, keep the plant down. I put a big old rock. So we don't have a rock.
I think what I'm going to do is just pull the angle up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to move on. There we go.
So if you were going to classify this arrangement, it looks very much like spring. And
Yes, certainly, all those bright yellow
of
colors.
course, we just finished with Easter not long ago.
Yeah, let's move over and I'll do the next arrangement.
Okay.
And this one's going to use calla lilies, and which are abundant right now too because of all the wonderful rain that we had. And
Quite long.
Yes, I'm going to cut them in here again. This is how we condition the flowers to keep them drinking.
Yes, like cutting off the callus or whatever so it can absorb more.
Yeah, and I'm going to place them all in one gulp in there.
I don't see a frog in that one. Or
No, 'cause
what did you call that again?
Kenzan.
Okay.
Kenzan. So the container itself is doing the job of holding everything up. Isn't this a wonderful?
What is that one?
This is another color, but it's a green
Oh,
one.
I've never seen that before.
It's a green
Very
one.
nice.
And then I'm going to cut.
Has a
See how
yellow-
they curl up when they've had quite a lot of water?
Yes.
They go all curly.
It's happy. Does that have a
cut.
yellow tongue in there? I can't quite see, but
Yes, they usually have a
the
yellow.
big one. The big one. That one has a yellow tongue?
Not right now.
Maybe later.
I can't see it right now. So I have those in there,
Okay.
and I just want to add something to emphasize that shape that we have there. What I've done is I've got a flax leaf here.
Oh, yes.
And I've curled
variegated
it round and round to make this shape.
Oh, nice, nice.
So I'm just going to cut
Well, now
that
you
one.
curled it, and then how did you get it to stay?
I used a glue dot. So
I thought so. That's where the craft part comes in.
yes, yes. We can use wire, we can use the Kenzan, we can use all sorts of things for fixtures. It's just that we don't want to see that at the front of the design, so we
Sure.
want to keep that sort of hidden away. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's a nice hole in this container, and I always wanted to complement it with
Now,
the same shape appearing.
when you're talking about, like, there's rules. I know it's very serious art, and I don't remember too much. I remember heaven, earth, and man. That's all.
Yes.
That's all I remember.
Yes,
Is
yeah.
that the Sujetsu school?
That's traditional. So
Traditional.
heaven is the vertical,
Yes.
and earth is the horizontal.
Yes.
And in between, man, that's
Yes.
optional.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
optional.
we have designs where you should have heaven and you should have earth, but whether you have man.
That's all I remember.
That's
in
about
the
where we're at
classes
in the
that I
world.
took. That's all I remember. I don't remember anything else except it was very formal and very strict. So you're saying that whatever I had was traditional.
Well, but
Maybe,
I
more
don't
or
know,
less.
but there are rules at the beginning, like any arts. You have to
Yeah.
learn the scales, you have to learn certain principles, I'd say, rather than hard and fast rules. And then when you make freestyle arrangements, which is what these are,
This is freestyle.
everything that you've learned before helps you in making all of your choices. Like, these should be two different heights because there's yin and yang. So things are
Yes.
never exactly symmetrical and the same. They always have slightly different qualities. So one of them to the other. And here I've got a split arrangement. So these two different parts have different qualities too. This one's much, although it had its balance issues, this one is stronger. And then this one is supporting. 'Cause it's small.
Yes, yes. Through space. Well, you can see the sculpture. Now, is it possible to do arrangements like to do them if you want a sad arrangement or if you want a happy arrangement? Is there?
Yeah.
How would you do that?
I
Or-
think you can express.
I mean, that to me that looks happy.
Yeah, I think you can express yourself fully. And what is very interesting and comes back to your own heart.
Got a mic.
Oh, sorry. Is that what mood you're in will come out.
Yes.
So whether you intend to do happy or sad, or you express yourself.
It'll come out. It'll
Yeah.
show up in the arrangement without you putting an effort
Yeah.
because it's coming through you
Yes,
at
that's
the time.
right. That's right. I want to take a leaf off here if I dare.
sure.
Because I see that this leaf, which I didn't take, yeah, I'm going to just take it off.
Is it what, fine tuning?
Yes,
This is called?
yeah, yeah. Stay, stay. Yes, please. Thank you for breathing. I heard you breathe deeply there. That's always a good thing to do. Okay, I'd like to move on to this next arrangement.
Now
I
this
have-
looks. All of them are different. They're
Yes,
totally different.
Yeah. This one starts with this piece.
Is
This
that
is
real?
yes, it's real. It's dried and it's painted. But this is an allium, which is the onion family.
Oh no.
Allium schubertii.
That's what's left over on an onion.
Well, it's a special onion. I
Aw.
don't know what's under the ground, but I grew it for this flower.
Oh,
And
neat.
so after I grew it and it dried, I painted it. So it
Oh.
makes a wonderful, like, exuberant 4th of July fireworks type of a look. I'm going to put it in here. Shall I move that one over a little bit now?
We're doing good. We got 10 minutes, so you can.
Yeah.
You're doing so well here.
Really?
I have no idea what this is going to be. What are you looking for on this one?
So when I decided I'd like to use this, which I decided because I had these flowers, I'm going to show you.
Oh, nice.
It's a perfect match, isn't it?
Yes,
So
it is.
I had these flowers from my friend's garden, and so then this allium, which usually lives on top of the refrigerator,
What
called
is
out.
this?
This is, we call it a pincushion. It's
Why
a type
not?
of protea. It's
Yes,
yeah.
I was
or
thinking protea.
leucodendron, well, in that family.
I love that family.
So then two materials obviously have something good going on. And then the third element is what container can complement all of those circles and give it a good base.
Yes, it just goes.
Yeah, so shall I put some more in?
Sure, why not? They're beautiful.
Here I have all the...
Now, I understand that you also teach children. How do they respond? What age level do you have?
I have a yearly class at a Montessori school, and the children are 3 to 5 years old. They're babies. And I don't have children, so I have no expectation of what they should do or can do. And they're enthralling. They just play. And very interestingly, some of them are very intensely.
Yes.
And some of them are very minimal, and some of them are very full, and some of them are done in 1 minute, and some of them you can't drag them away. It's a beautiful thing to see them do that every year.
That's
and
very
enjoy themselves.
Young. Yeah. I remember teaching a bonsai class, but it was elementary. That's totally different. And they love playing in the dirt.
Yeah.
They wanted to plant something. But with you, you're working with flowers and everything. It's just a good thing they don't want to eat them, right?
Well, they might, yeah. One of my friends has taught children of an older age, and she's really amazed at how easily they comprehend these Ikebana concepts. Yeah, they get really into it. Because you've basically got shapes.
Yes.
You know, circles, squares, triangles. You know,
Nice.
and you keep it simple. And more. This one is more. It's a little bit like a firework display. Or
It is, definitely.
It's very happy to see all of these shapes together.
Now, you're very active with museums, and so I know that you have one coming up in, I think it's June, Bouquets to Art at the De Young.
Yes.
What is that about? You've been doing that for like 11 years?
11 years, yes.
What is that?
Yes, with my friends, we have a group called Renka Design Group, and we are paired up with a work of art. It could be a sculpture or a painting, and then we make an Ikebana creation to respond to the art. So we've just started working for this year's show, which is June 4th to 9th.
And you're doing it with a very old painting?
Yeah, 19th century painting. It's a little bit out of our comfort zone, because modern art is easy to address, and sculpture is somewhat compatible. But a 19th century painting, that's going to be very interesting. But we're excited. We've got some good ideas already.
How did you come up with that idea? Was it your idea to come up with that one?
The painting?
Yes.
Well, we choose, on selection day, all the artists choose 5 and put them in order. So you don't know which one you're going to get.
Oh.
And then only a month before the show are you told, like, this is your piece, this is what you're going to do. So then we just scramble and make it work. Yeah.
So when is that? That's
in June.
June.
Yeah, beginning of June. June 4th to the 9th. So I've got a little baby one here. It's like would look nice.
I was going to say, yeah.
It's a fascinator. So I'll put that one back here just to. One of the things that we're often trying to do in Ikebana is to create depth. We look at them in traditional Ikebana just from the front. They're not usually all around arrangements.
From the front.
Just from the front. So it's important to create depth from front to back. And they often do take up a lot of space. We talked about space at the beginning. So this one, the space is all very enclosed within this shape. There's a lot of air around here. And to give it a frame, you'd need quite a big space. Really, each one of these would like to be on its own table, because they take up so much space.
Of course.
Yeah.
So how would you classify these arrangements that we have here?
Well, as
Fireworks, I agree with that one.
Fireworks, elegant simplicity, I think that one is about. It's quite, well, relaxed. Yeah.
Very, very.
Yeah.
And
this one, again, is
flow.
Like
now, this I see it flowing.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the wind blowing. The wind blowing. Let's hope it doesn't blow it away.
Now,
too
what
soon.
else do you do? You do more with museums. You've worked with Oakland Museum too.
Yes, we've done exhibitions at different museums, Asian Art Museum and the Oakland Museum. And then there are various flower committees for those museums and the De Young Museum. where every month we get together and on the museum's tiny budget, we make flower arrangements to decorate the entranceway of the museum and certain of the public areas. So that's another opportunity to work in a different style of space than working at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have a lot of activity. I was so surprised how many. In fact, I don't know, you were gone today, I think, coming over here from Woodside. So
Yes, yeah.
you are very busy doing
Yeah.
multiple of things.
Yes, yeah.
And also you have your degree that you got in Japan. I wanted to ask you, did you have to go to Japan to get that? Tell us your title,
No.
what you are.
I hold the rank of Jonin Somu, and that's a rank of teaching certificate. So it's not a commercial training, it's an artistic training, and then we grade it by teaching level. So no, I didn't need to go to Japan because I have a wonderful teacher here in the Bay Area. But yes, I would like to visit Japan.
Well, it's very nice that you have that title. It's like, how tall is that into the rank of teaching?
I'm quite deep in.
Oh, are you?
Quite in the deep water these days, yeah.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
So, well, we still have like another minute or so. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about your classes? Well, what about the classes? You didn't mention that. It's like 10 weeks at the community center.
Yes, in San Rafael.
In San Rafael.
And that's 3 times a year. And students generally, it's an ongoing study because it's quite a deep syllabus. It goes on, well, I've been practicing for about 18 years now. So although you meet basic concepts, you develop them deeper and deeper as time goes on. So yeah, I have some
when is that
wonderful
starting?
students.
It's already going on, isn't it?
Yeah, the spring session started, and then the fall session will be starting in September.
Wow.
Yeah, San Rafael.
Busy, San Rafael. Well, of course, all that information is on your website too.
Yes.
So people can check that out, the times and all of that. So, well, I just think that you have a wonderful, wonderful presentation here. You make it look easy. And I know that all the thought probably came in before, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. With me, I go out, clip the roses, and see who's halfway blooming, bringing them in, find the vase, let's go for it.
Who's ready? Let's move this one back over so that it's on the center. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, we're done.
So we're going to let you enjoy the art in silence. Thanks for watching the show, and watch again. Let me just stay here. They'll run the credits out too.